Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Looks like more AI competitors are coming, and this French company is acquiring multiple companies in order to literally present themselves as going after Palantir and to be the European Palantir. And I'll go over my own thoughts here about this. So this company is called ChapVision. Basically, it was founded by this guy, Oliver Dellenbach, who previously founded and sold a company called eFront. And that was as recent as May 2019 to BlackRock. So this was a complete sale 100%. So essentially this guy needed to start something new and saw an opportunity in government software, at least specifically for France. Now, I'll jump back to the deal, but looking at this older article from 2019, all of this was kind of foreseen already, where one of the French defense company CEO, Thales, said it would take about 2 years to develop an alternative to Palantir. And this was back in 2019, so we're about 3 years later here in 2023, and it looks like this seems to be happening now. For some background, Palantir has been working with the French Intelligence Services, or DGSI, since 2015 after a major attack. It was a 3-year contract, but obviously there were political issues taking this news. And this article actually was written around the renewal time in 2019, which was also given to Palantir, because DGSI said themselves there were no homegrown alternatives that would compete and have been awarded this contract. And this really prompted this whole new competition here, or to grow this competition against Palantir. Now, going further down the article, there was a comment from a DGSI head, Nicholas Lerner, who said he'd rather use homegrown technology. So there's a lot of motivation for the French to use their own technology and make businesses around that, rather than awarding those contracts to Palantir. So this can be something to take note of or even be concerned with. And Alex Karp has been noted to say international revenue growth has not been as strong, and this would only add to this issue here. Now, back to this deal itself, building out this competitor for Palantir, ChapVision. Just recently, they acquired a company called Geotrend. Essentially, they are an artificial intelligence play here to add on to their company. Now, to complete this acquisition, ChapVision has been raising money. It's a good amount here at around 100 million euros. That was from last September. And with this capital, they've actually acquired multiple companies. One here, I think it's D Everywhere and also Quem. So right now, it's been a hodgepodge of combining companies together. So I'm not sure what their actual progress is to a real solution for the French government, but it sounds like they're working towards that. It sounds like the UK consortium that was happening for the NHS contract. I'm not saying that they're going to fail like here, where there's like a timeline for a specific contract, but it sounds like the same kind of thing. And further down the article, here's what it says. They're trying to be the European alternative to Palantir when it comes to intelligence departments in the region. Now, on their size, they are small compared to Palantir at around 100 million euros in 2022 with 600 employees. But they do have some big customers coming through to them with their acquisition of Geotrend, like Airbus. Since they already work with Palantir, I kind of found that interesting here, but they also have the French defense. Now, in my opinion, this still looks like the beginning of this Palantir competitor because they're still acquiring and trying to basically set themselves up here. Now, they're doing it all at once, so I'm not sure how quickly they can do this or how efficient that is. Now, what my concerns are, though, is that this basically means we have a new competitor coming up in the future for government revenue in Europe, which can be an issue if it does appeal stronger to other European nations, or, which I think could be a bigger issue, if it prompts the other nations to do the same with their own kind of hodgepodge of companies that are homegrown. But it's important to note, Alex Karp actually has warned against this too, where you buy software only because it is homegrown without actually looking at the merits or evaluating the performance. I get buying domestic because it makes a lot of sense when it comes to defense because of the trust and political aspect, and that's the same here actually in the United States, and I have those same feelings as well. But when it comes to a nation's defense, though, it's not something usually you'd want to get the inferior product unless you truly cannot spend on that superior technology or don't have the budget for it. For France, I wouldn't put them in that boat, so it's really important for Palantir to demonstrate their value, because if they really do exceed ChapVision and keep outpacing them, then there's really no need to be worried about them as a competitor. The only issue then is the political feelings about them. So at the moment, I'm not worried right now, especially since ChapVision's turnover is around 100 million euros last year, which is still small. So it takes some time for them to scale up to the size of a Palantir, doing a couple billion a year. But it's not like it's their goal to go after the whole world either. So they're only concentrated on the European market and probably the French market right now. And this can really eat into Palantir over time. If these niche products can really concentrate on their target markets, this is where it can start to slowly eat away at Palantir as they try to compete in different countries. Now, on the flip side, since Palantir has marketed and positioned themselves as a customizable and agnostic software that you can use with your current systems, especially for the government where there are a lot of legacy systems. Plus, Palantir has already shown they work especially on the battlefield in running target algorithms in Ukraine. So it gives them a head start, at least reputation-wise. So Palantir is more established and has the history and reputation and are the current incumbent in France. So Palantir is still in the position to set the bar here, and ChatVision has to catch up to them. So once ChatVision gets to that point for contracts where they're going to try to kick out Palantir and compete with them, hopefully the performance is the one evaluated and not only looking at the country of origin for the software. I know that it will play a factor though, especially when they do hit articles and like people talk about it. Now, when it comes to the rest of Europe, I'm actually not too worried about this specific competitor as long as it doesn't prompt a wave of homegrown defense products like I mentioned earlier for each country. But for example, if we take the UK where Palantir is deeply embedded, if ChatVision tries to go after Palantir there is no home field advantage for ChatVision, and they're truly going to be based on their performance and value and see if they truly work. So I think Palantir is still ahead because there are so many allied countries in the region who know about Palantir now, and they've shown that they work and will show up. I mean, they've already shown up in Ukraine, which is really big, but also not only on the defense side, but also for relocating Ukrainian refugees and also the pandemic in the NHS. So it really depends on the country and their experience with Palantir that's outside of France, I think. But I'm curious to know your thoughts on these budding competitors. It feels like Palantir is ahead at the moment, but let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.